Welcome back to the Cool FAB British Minibikes Championship here at Glenigorse Park. The next race up is Minimoto Pro, and the unluckiest rider in the paddock, probably in the last 2 years, joins me, Johnny Garness. Now, you've got your arm in a sling. You had a great round at Red Lodge in this class. You went out of the round with a championship lead, but then in the last race of the weekend in the Minimoto Elite class, what happened?
So it was on the last lap. I was trying to get up on the inside of Emmanuel, and I gassed a bit too early, and I had a bit of a wobble, and then it went right over the bars, and I think I landed like on my necky collarbone-y bit, and then I think I just done my collarbone. And
your bone is seriously broken, isn't it? So how long do you think you're going to be out for?
I don't actually know. It depends what the doctor says. I can maybe ride at Wilton Mill, but I'm definitely going to ride at Tattershall.
Okay, I know you'd definitely ride today if you could, but I don't think your mum would let you do it. It's really unlucky for you because we've got viewers around the world that sort of follow your progress, and they will probably remember the fact that you broke, what was it, you broke your arm or your wrist, didn't you, at Rowra last year at the end of the season, and that ruled you out of the championship last year. And now this year, that's pretty much going to rule you out now, isn't it? Because you're not going to score, even if you raced at the next round, you're not going to score any points today. You're potentially going to give up to Mason, and if Mason took 3 wins, you give up 75 points. That's a massive championship lead for him. So it's pretty much over for you this year. I know you're really disappointed, but who do you want to thank for all your success this year that you've had so far? Because it has been a great season for you.
M4 karting, especially my dad, Drew, and my mum for giving me all the food, and all my sponsors.
And your mum's a nurse, I think, as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
So she's probably not very happy with this, is she?
Not really.
Okay, well, all I'll say is probably good luck for next season.
Thank you.
Those of you that were watching at Red Lodge, the Minimoto Pro race, we've already interviewed Johnny Garness there, who came second in that race. The photo finish was won by this man, Mason Foster, 2 1,000ths of a second. You came out the final turn, you were behind, but by the time you got to line, did you know you'd won it?
No, to be honest, I thought Johnny got it, so...
Well, I think the drone, if you've seen it back, haven't you, the slow motion, and I guess the drone shot really shows it, doesn't it, that it just looks like you were just that fraction in front, and the timing in the end, Roger Keys, the championship organiser, gave it its 2,000ths of a second. I think the timing originally said 0 to 100th of a second, as it would do, obviously, but great result for you in that race. Now on the Sunday you had a 4th and a 2nd, so not the best results for you on the Sunday against Johnny, who came out of there with a championship lead, but obviously we know now in the last race in the Minimoto Elite class, he's broke his collarbone. That effectively, has that handed the championship to you, do you think?
Well, I think it's still up for grabs at the minute for Johnny, because I think he'll be back by Welton, so I think he'll go down to Tattershall.
So that makes this weekend for you then really important. Let's say you had a DNF, and didn't score any points and then won 2 races, that would only give you 50 points from here. He would still be in the mix, I guess, then, wouldn't he? But this weekend, though, how's it looking for you at Glenigorse Park?
Good, got some really good pace. Second in the liquid cooled on the air cooled, so yeah.
So what you're looking for this weekend, I guess you'd like 3 wins just to try and extend that championship lead?
Yeah, 3 straight wins. Try and get podium in the liquids.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Out for the 2nd season in a row, Johnny Garness, while in with a chance of winning the championship. He had a comfortable championship lead coming to this round. He won't have the championship lead going out of it. That man will. Mason Foster, he starts on pole. Sullivan Moutsey goes off P2. 6 podiums this year in this class. Troy Jeffrey comes next. 10 podiums, 1 race win. Luca Hopkins goes off P4, 9 years of age from York. Ron Chopper Harris comes next, the 10-year-old from Oxfordshire. Stuart Campbell, the Taylor variety, goes off P6. 8 years of age from Wokingham. Off P7, it's the dude, Clayton Edmonds. He comes next, 8 years of age from Uxbridge. Ethan Sparks is off P8. He's 7 years of age. Off P9, it's Orlando Phillips running the 27 bike, 9 years of age from Guildford. Then comes Harrison McKay rounding out the top 10, also 9 years of age from Lincoln. Ruben Sherman Boyd makes an appearance this weekend. He rides the 71 bike. Then comes Alessandro Valenti riding the 82 machine. Jamie Woodcock comes next. Unlucky for some, unlucky for him. It's P13 for Jamie. Ben Jolliffe goes off P14, aged 10 from Portland. Then off P15, it's Keaton Payne riding the 12 bike. Off P16, Greg Marshall is the 10-year-old from Harrogate. And rounding out the 17 rider grid, it's Jada Howe riding the 50 bike, 11 years of age from Ipswich. Jake.
A rather frustrated Johnny Garness watching from the sidelines as his championship lead is about to disintegrate. Mason Foster and Sullivan Mounsey on the front of the grid. Oh, it's a terrible start for Foster. Mounsey's going to go through. So too are Jeffrey and Hopkins. And Ronnie Harris, if he had had a good start himself, would probably have been right on the back of it as well. Foster seems to have saved his bacon a little bit there, up into third position off the start, round the outside of Troy Jeffrey to come back in a second. What a comeback from Foster.
Great move, but I tell you what, the luckiest man potentially on the grid there was Sullivan Mounsey, because Mason Foster nearly took him out. He lifted the front wheel off. He had to snap the throttle shut to put the wheel back down on the ground, and then was a little bit wobbly to say the least, and could easily have run into Sullivan Mounsey, taking the pair of them out, and they would have been at the front of the field on the floor. That could have been very ugly indeed.
Jeffrey in third from Luca Hopkins, being chased down by Ronnie Chopper Harris in fifth position. Taylor Stewart Campbell and Ethan Sparks still there or thereabouts, but it's Mounsey who leads the way from Mason Foster. A great fight back after a tricky start then from Foster. Jeffrey, Hopkins, Harris, Ethan Sparks up to six now from Taylor Stewart Campbell, Phillips, Edmonds, McKay, Valente and Jolliffe. A really exciting battle from the leaders out front. And then for third position, I have a feeling that Ronnie Harris is going to start edging closer to Jeffrey and Hopkins as they ride through down the drop once again. But Mounsey and Foster, it's only a matter of time before Foster catches Mounsey at this rate.
Yeah, looks like it as it come uphill into the compression complex. Three right-handers, that was the first one. This is the second one. Don't want to clip that curb. It's a high curb, that one. If you clip it with your knee, you can easily unsettle the bike. Third one, then into the left-hander here, out to the hairpin, then right-handed down Devil's Elbow. You can just see how the track drops away there. It's a fantastic turn. One of the greatest turns on any karting circuit in the UK.
Oh, Foster got a really good line out of that final turn. He will have gained quite a lot on the way out of that turn up towards the top of the hill once again. So I have a feeling that Foster may get an opportunity on Mounsey through this run. You've got Woodcock, Jolliffe and Ruben Sherman Boyd going through there. Greg Marshall in behind them. Pick out your favourite riders as they come through. But watch these two, Foster and Mounsey. Very close indeed. I did say that Foster was going to close in on Mounsey, and that run out of the final turn has now paid dividends through the compression complex. He may get a run on Sullivan Mounsey. 44 versus 88. Foster already starts to have a little nibble on the way out of the compression complex. Through the left, into Devil's Elbow. And Foster is starting to line up Mounsey. He knows where he's strong. He knows where Mounsey is vulnerable. So he can start to really get into that gap. Out through turn one. Back on the power. In through the hill. And Mounsey already starting to get quite conservative as he cuts across. Jeffrey, Hopkins and Harris, then Stuart Campbell. That is Sparks on the 62 from Phillips, Edmonds and McKay. What about the leaders? Foster right in there behind Mounsey, a quarter of a second as they came over the line. It's considerably less than that now as Foster gets another great run down the hill. He's so good off the spoon curve. He's going to come round the outside of Mounsey. Now Sullivan's got to stay cool here. He cannot afford to let Mason Foster get under his skin, because not only could he lose the place, if he cracks under the pressure, he could come off the bike. So he's got to be so careful, and he's doing exactly what he needs to. Defensive riding, just looking after his own zone at the moment. Mason Foster's got to be the one to do the hard work. Sullivan's got to stay focused. He tightens in though through the final turn. Beautiful. Foster may get his chance. He's going to come off the turn, but Mounsey's doing a brilliant job to hang on.
That bike Foster's on there looks like it's on rails. Eddie O'Shea described his bike like that earlier on. Here comes a battle for third place. Jeffrey, Hopkins, Harris, Taylor Stewart Campbell getting closer as well. and Ethan Sparks, Orlando Phillips, Clayton Edmonds and Harrison McKay rounding out their top 10. Battles all down the field. That's the 82, Sandro Valenti going through the picture, but we're back with the lead battle as he comes down the hill through the carousel one more time. First curb, that's the second curb, the double apex, right-handed. That bike of Mason Foster looks beautiful, absolutely on rails, but he hasn't got track position.
Troy Jeffrey is having a similar job trying to fend off Luca Hopkins at the moment. Hopkins has got his own pressure from Harris, who has indeed closed up. I thought he might. And these three are now battling for the third and final step on the rostrum as they come out of Devil's Elbow. This is a good run from Hopkins, just putting Jeffrey under pressure. All of the difficulties now lie at Jeffrey's feet. He's got all the pressure. He's got to do all the hard work here. The three behind have just got to keep that pressure going. Foster again, he's so fast on the outside of Mountsie. It's only a matter of time before he's going to get that energy and that ultra speed to come through and round the outside. Look, you can't run round the outside of the carousel, but you can start to get into Mountie's skin a little bit, start to get into his blind spots, and Mountie's going to start to feel the pressure big style. This is a great bit of riding from Sullivan Mountie to hang on.
It is very difficult to lead all of the way, much easier to follow and judge your braking on what the guy in front is doing. Look for opportunities, look where he's strong, look where he's weak. And here comes Foster looking down the inside again.
Yeah, but Mountie's so good at coming right across. He knows that Foster's going to be there. Look, he chops across every time there's a chance that Foster might get the run on him. He's just right there. He knows exactly where to cut him off. Jeffrey, Hopkins, Harris, Taylor Stewart Campbell starting to close in on those three now. Round the outside, Foster's going to carry the speed all the way around the outside. Beautiful from Mountie. Absolutely resolute. That's a brick wall, isn't it? You're not getting through there. They've got traffic in front to deal with. That's Jada Howe. So they're going to try and nip through on the inside. Beautifully done. Neither of them have lost too much time at all. But Sullivan Mountie is a warrior hanging on to this. It's like that movie, 28 Days, isn't it? Where you're clinging on. What is it? 127 hours or whatever it was. Hanging on, trying to keep it all together. He's doing an absolutely amazing job hanging on to it through the final turn and over the line into that first corner once again. Just keeping that power on Foster. Mountie's now got to cut across to the other side, but he's got his own line for the next corner to think of if Foster's going to keep this together. Look how close they were as they came across the line. 900ths of a second in it. Foster has got 2 laps to do this. He's going to try that outside line, get the switch back, drop down the hill. They've got more traffic to deal with in front of them. That's Greg Marshall up the road. So can he slingshot through?
Looks like the battle for third is now between Jeffrey and Hopkins as they went through the line last time. Chopper Harris just lost a bit of time and he's under pressure now for Taylor Stewart Campbell for the 5th spot. But this is the battle for the lead. Still Mountsie out front. It's been an immense ride so far, but can he hold on to it? The man behind him, Mason Foster, basically will lead this championship as when they leave Glanigorse Park, because the championship leader, as we've heard, is not in this one, Johnny Garness.
Up the inside of Keaton Payne, no problem at all for Mountsie. A little hesitation for Mason Foster. He's going to have to be absolutely on his A game this time as they go back up the hill. Jeffrey has dealt with third position for the moment, and it looks to me as though Luca Hopkins has gone. It's Stuart Campbell and Ronnie Harris. Oh yes, Luca Hopkins off the bike. We just saw him there. Luca Hopkins is out of this race. That is a disaster as he battled with Jeffrey for third position. But now it's these two. Is there going to be one final chance for Foster? He carries the speed round the outside of the compression complex. They've got Ben Joliffe in front of them. He is not an issue as they go through, and that is Mason Foster right on the back now of Mountsie. He's got one final turn to try and slingshot out of it. He'll give it a go, but it's not enough. Mountsie just gets there by 0.1 of a second. Oh my word. That was very, very exciting stuff as they came through.
Well, it was 0.02 of a second last time. Mason Foster beat Johnny Garness on the line. That's Troy Jeffrey coming through.
Just ahead of Taylor Stewart Campbell. He got that one done. Ronnie Harris rounds out the top 5.
Good ride by Taylor Stewart Campbell to come back for 4th, by the way. So that's the top 5 confirmation. Mountsie from Foster. Foster will lead the championship at the end of this weekend. It was Mountsie that would go on to win race 2, though, taking a double. But the new championship leader, Mason Foster, will come back and win race 3. And as we'll see from the championship points, with no Johnny Garness in it, it's Foster that leads it going to the next round. From Garness, still there in second, Mountseat, Jeffrey and Luca Hopkins 5th.